everyone, it's Nat. I'm a horse witch. Welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. Today I am going to do another tarot tag. Chanel Days started the mid-year tarot tag, and I know I've been doing a lot of tarot stuff lately, but it's my new hyperfixation, and well, it's my channel and I can do what I want. So a ton of really cool tags have been hitting TarotTube, and I have FOMO. So I am going to do as many of them as I can. Being new to tarot, I only have a few decks, so some of them are a little out of my reach, and you're probably going to see the same decks for different prompts, but that is okay. So that being said, to Chanel Days, thank you for creating this prompt. It is super cool. I've been enjoying watching everyone's video responses to this, and I'm a little bit slow because I think this is a month old now, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, all right, let's get into it. So the first prompt is a deck you've used the most in 2025. And this is the original Lightseers. And this is probably the deck that I have used the most. This was gifted to me by a good friend of mine, and I didn't know anything about tarot, and I looked it up, and since it's the original indie run, it is quite valuable. And as you can see, I've used it quite a bit, and there's some wear on the edging. I actually chipped one of the cards that I can't see now. But I love this deck so much. And I do find the indie version has more vivid color to it. But I love it so much. I went and got the mass market. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I picked this up from someone in Lisa Pepez's supportive tarot group. They were selling it for $10. And I just love this deck, and I didn't want to use the absolute crap out of the indie deck. So pick this up for $10. It was still wrapped. I just unwrapped it yesterday, and I think I'm going to use this deck for Lisa Pepez's book, Unlocking the Tarot. I may have lied just then. I actually think I'm going to use my Spirit Song Tarot. Regardless, this has the horrible Hay House cardstock that I'm not a fan of. And I'm probably going to try and edge this in black. I think that would look really cool. So perfect mass market deck to try my hand at edging. And also, if you're unfamiliar, I'll just go through. I don't know anyone that's not unfamiliar with this deck because it is very popular, and for good reason. I just love the art style of this, and there are so many cards in here that I just adore. Like this Hermit card is so good. Judgment is another favorite one of mine. The Death card. I love this Devil and the Tower, the Star. There's so many. This Moon, so many good ones. The Sun card. This Judgment card is just gorgeous. So it's just such a cool deck. So had to have it twice. So that's probably the deck I've worked with the most. And will continue to do so now that I have a mass market. I did put the indie one on the shelf after I started noticing some wear on it. It is one of my prized possessions since it was a gift. So, so there we have it. The Lightseers Tarot. Prompt number 2, a new deck in my collection. Okay, so they're all new. I just started tarot in January. So all of these are new. This is the newest one. So this was the Unbridled Spirit Tarot. I did a walkthrough of this on my channel. It was released in early May, and it does have one of those big Llewellyn boxes. And it came with some cool freebies. But I just love this deck. It has a linen-y feel. The artwork is beautiful. Being the Horse Witch, I just had to have this. I paired it with my Oracle of the Sacred Horse, and it was beautiful. And I just really love this deck, and I did use it quite a bit when I first got it. But like I said, I'm up to 17 decks now. Technically 16 because the Light Seers is a duplicate, but I've gotten them all within the last 6 months. So I haven't really gotten a chance to sit and use them. This moon card with the Kelpie in the reflection is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so cool. Anyway, so yeah, this is the newest deck to come into my collection, technically, and the most recent release as well. Okay, prompt number 3, a deck that could be better, the Muse. So again, Hay House has this horrible cardstock, but I do love Chris Ann's Tarot. I got this deck to pair with the Wild Goddesses of the Screen and Beyond Oracle from Tamara Cook. And I haven't gotten a chance to use this, but one of these cards was chipped, and of course I can't find it now. When it came, oh, there, see, you can see the damage on the edge of that card there, which I was not thrilled about. But again, I mean, I got this at the Hay House sale, so it was only like 15 bucks. But I love like the backs of these. The color palette is totally me. I like this kind of abstract feel and vintage feel it has. I'm hoping to use this a little bit soon. Yeah, so just a very good standard mass market deck to have in your library of tarot. And so interesting visually. And actually someone on Blue Sky pulled a card from it, and I haven't flipped all the, it was this one, the Night of Inspiration. Obviously, I like this one. Fun fact, my first horse was an Appaloosa. So yeah, that if I hadn't already bought this deck, this card right here would have been the selling feature. And I would have rushed to go get it. All right. So prompt 4 is a deck that I am currently using. Boom. Trash Panda Tarot. Danny Mystic made me do it. She was going through her animal decks, and she has the first version of this and was going through it. And I took one look and was like, obviously I need that. So I went and immediately bought it. So here it is. It's so cute. I can't even with this one, you guys. It's just the cutest little thing. It has some pretty traditional Rider-Waite-Smith visuals on it. I love. Okay, I love the grape juice. The Two of Wands are marshmallows on sticks. Hysterical. If you are familiar with the movie Charlotte's Web, you know, the rat Templeton and his smorgasbord at the county fair, this deck totally reminds me of that. The pentacles are gaming dice, a 20-sided dice. The swords are sporks, which made me laugh. And I mean, look at that. Look at that card. Does that not just bring you joy? And that is the judgiest cat I've ever seen in my life. So just super cute. I mean, even like the serious cards are so adorable and have levity. This Hanged Man is adorable. You know, the Chariot, and I can't tell if he's on an ambulance or a trash truck. So funny. But the Wands as marshmallows on sticks. Hysterical. And then the 10 of Cups. The cups are grape soda. You can't make this up. Oh, so cute. So anyway, I'm just loving using this deck. The backs are stunning. And the cardstock is beautiful. The art is gorgeous. I have nothing bad to say about this deck. I really don't. And I will do my very, very best to link all of the decks I'm talking about in the description. So the biggest surprise, prompt 5, what deck was the biggest surprise? And that is going to be my Cozy Witch Tarot. So I went to Tarot Arts in Pasadena, California. If you are local to Los Angeles or visiting Los Angeles, I absolutely recommend taking a detour to Pasadena and going to Tarot Arts. It is a store, and it is probably a good 1,000 feet, maybe less, 800 square feet. And it's just tarot and oracle decks. They have some collector's editions, they have mass market, they have some indie decks. I cannot recommend that store enough. So they had just gotten these in. And they also have almost every deck has an open deck that you can open and look at and play with. And they have tables throughout the store. So if you want to grab one of the sample decks and go sit down and draw some cards and see how it feels, you can totally do that. So they had just gotten this in, and I was like, hey, do you have an open copy? And he was like, nope, we just got these in. So he grabs an unopened copy, opens it, and is like, here, go through it. So I sat down and went through this deck, and this is the copy that he opened for me. And I was just like, nope, I want this specific copy. So I love the inclusivity of this deck. That is what really sold it. I love the coffee cups. It is so cute. This deck features a wide variety of ages. And body shapes, and just different people. Oh, one of the things, and okay, so here we have an older woman. You can see she's previously dyed her hair. She's letting it grow out to her natural gray color. I love that. And you can see she's got some stretch marks, like, you know, older people have, or chubby people, or whatever. So again, just a beautiful, inclusive deck that I just had to have. Various body shapes and sizes, people of different ethnicities and ages. Here we have an older woman in a hammock. And the inclusivity of this deck just totally sold it for me. This was the card. This was the card that I flipped to, and I saw that the woman depicted here had hairy legs. And I was like, sold. I knew right then I was going to buy this deck. There's another one on here, in here, that shows there's a woman in here with self-harm scars and some non-binary depictions of people. I would say this is ultimately a very feminine deck. There are no male figures represented in this deck, but you do have non-binary and female presenting persons with a beard. And I'm trying to find that card. And it's probably going to be the very last card in this deck, of course. So the inclusivity of this deck really sold it to me. And I don't know how many times I can say that, but it is such a wonderful card. And it has a very autumn feel, which I am looking forward to working with. So anyway, this was the deck that surprised me the most. This wasn't really even on my wish list. And I opened it, that strength card, the woman with the hairy legs sold it to me. It's like, absolutely need this. And it has been wonderful to work with. Okay, so my deck crush. So this was my first tarot deck. So this is one my mom gave me for Christmas. I had given her a list of decks that I liked. I gave her a list of about 15. And she watched TarotTube, watched walkthroughs and everything. And I am calling this the deck that I have a crush on because I have a really hard time working with this deck. It doesn't really like being on camera. I'm actually shocked it came out of the box fine, knowing I was doing this. And it is very temperamental. I will go to use this deck and it will become impossible to shuffle after a few card pulls. So I mainly use it for myself. This is the deck that I'm going to use for Lisa's Unlocking the Tarot because I struggle with this deck as someone who knows animals and has a degree in animal science and a dad who was a game warden. So I grew up in the wilderness. A lot of the descriptions of these animals in the guidebook and what they represent do not line up for me. And that is a huge problem. And there is just a couple cards in particular. This is listed as a rabbit in the guidebook, and it's a hare. It's a hare. This is not a rabbit. It's a hare. And then there is a card with a peacock, and they refer to it as a she. It's literally in the name, peacock. Cock is the male gender of the pea species. So I really had a hard time with that. And so this deck for me is really not intuitive. I want to love it. I love this artwork. I love the animal centric decks. There are so many cards in here that I really do like. So for me, this is like unrequited love. Like, I love this deck. I want it to love me. I want it to be gentle and loving and caring and love me back. And I have the most giant crush on it. It just doesn't return that sentiment. So this deck will obviously, there it is. Peacock, like it's literally in the name. So yeah, just very hard for me. And I want to love this deck. I love Paulina Cassidy's artwork. You know, her decks all kind of have this pastel palette and this swirly doodly kind of artwork. And I just love it. And this deck just doesn't love me back. So it's kind of like being a freshman and having a crush on that senior high school, that senior football star stuff. So that is my deck crush. My favorite single card from a tarot deck. Here is Sassy Dragons, Not Safe for Work. I literally went through and pulled it out. I did not know this card was in this deck until I pulled it. And I laughed my ass off. So Peggy Papez, you made me smile with this one. I leave this in the deck now. I consider it, it's just the 79th card. And I just love it. I just love it. It says everything, right? Like, what am I doing with my life? Fuck them. I love it. So that is my favorite card, and that was prompt number 7. Prompt number 8 is a deck that makes me happy. So this is the Tarot deck by Suburban Witch. This went on sale at a stupid price, so I immediately purchased it. Do I need 2 Taylor Swift tarot decks? Absolutely not. Do I have 2 Taylor Swift tarot decks? Yes. This is such an incredibly well thought out deck, and I'm getting used to the cardstock, which I didn't love at first. The art is all gorgeous. Every single card has a song lyric quote on it. If you are at all a fan of Taylor or love pop culture decks, this is totally for you. And you can find it on the Suburban Witch's website, and I will link that. Sorry, I'm getting over strep, so my throat is getting a little tired. But just a fun deck. Just a fun deck. I do readings on Blue Sky. I am part of the Swiftie community on there, and I love using this for my fellow Swifties. They love it too. No regrets purchasing this deck at all. It is wonderful. Except for this stupid tuck box. Come on. There we go. Come to my YouTube channel. Watch me struggle with boxes. So that was prompt number 8. My computer keeps going to sleep. Deck that makes me happy. Great guidebook. Okay. Everyday Witch. Classic deck. Gorgeous. By Deborah Blake. Art by Elizabeth Alba. This book is in full color. It's a typical Llewellyn book. But, I mean, it's just good. It's just a really good guidebook. I don't have anything else to say about it. You know, you've seen these cards probably 100 times, but we'll show them anyway because I love Elizabeth Alba's artwork. It's so bright and colorful and so full of life. I really like this deck. Again, very Rider-Waite-Smith. I've been focusing on the RWS decks a lot because I'm still learning. My goal is to get off book by the end of the year. And I realize that is a tall order for someone who just started reading this year. So going off book in a year. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but it is a good goal. So this deck is so fun. I really love the art. So yeah, this is the deck with the good guidebook. I would say Unbridled Spirit. Most of Llewellyn's decks have good guidebooks. They're full color for the most part. At least the new decks are. And yeah, I'm umming a lot today. I apologize, but it is what it is. Okay, what deck do you want by the end of the year, or are you still waiting on? And this is, I blame Lisa Pepez for this one, is Tarot of Echoes. She had it in one of her most recent videos, I think her May roundup, and I had never heard of it, and you can't really get it anymore. The indie versions are really expensive, and it is apparently going mass market, but hasn't been released yet. So, a couple others on my list are the Hilda Tarot, focusing the artwork of the Hilda character, which for me really reminds me of my grandmother. She had similar art styles in her house when I was a kid growing up. Cosmic Cycles, the pink edition, which again, that's Lisa's fault. Are you noticing a pattern here? A lot of things are Lisa's fault. So I have a lot on my wish list. I've obviously gotten a lot off my wish list, and I'm trying to stay at 25 decks for 2025. I have 17 decks, technically 16, because I have 2 light seers. I have the indie and the mass market. We're counting that as one deck, so 16. And I backed 4 Kickstarters, all of which should deliver by the end of the year, but we'll see. And so, and we're only halfway through the year. So, think good thoughts for me on that one. What deck hasn't been used yet or barely and you want to work with this year? So one of the main reasons I really wanted to go to Tarot Arts when I was down in LA was because I saw on the website that they had the Slavic Legends Tarot, and I didn't have to order it online. So I could support the creator and a small business at the same time. And it was literally $1 more expensive, and I could walk out with it in my hand versus ordering it online. So that being said, I have not used this deck yet. I've owned it for almost a month now, and I still have not used it. And apparently I have shuffled it. Apparently I have shuffled it, but I haven't used it. So I love the artwork on this. The artwork is gorgeous. I got the blue backs with the black edges. That was more appealing to me than the gold backs with the gilded edges. So I don't know what else to say. The artwork is gorgeous. I love this death card. Look at that. So cool. I don't even have any ancestry in this part of the world. Slavic. No, I'm more Scandinavian, Swiss, so technically German. So yeah, maybe I do. I should really do a DNA test or something, but I don't think a company needs my genetic material. So this is a deck that I haven't gotten a chance to use, but I really want to. So maybe I've just decided that I need to pick 2 or 3 decks to work with throughout the month. And maybe I will start doing those videos. All right, and finally, pull a card for the next, oh, wait, no. Okay. There's going to be a lot of bloopers on this one. Favorite video you've made or seen? Lisa Pepez. This is not a Lisa Pepez video. She is just one of my mentors. Not mentors. She doesn't, well, Lisa knows I exist, but I was going to say she doesn't know I exist, but she does. I just really look up to her. She has created just a beautiful community on her supportive tarot platform, and I really love her videos. So one of the things that she has done is I am her highest level of participation subscription, and her Badass Unicorns. And one thing she has started doing is she will workshop decks. And I love those. She does them on lives for her Badass Unicorns. And those are my favorite. She usually doesn't use a deck that I have. Her collection is far outweighs mine. When I first started watching Lisa and she said she had like an Excel spreadsheet, I was like, wow, okay. And now I get it. So she does those. And if you're not a member, you should become one because there's tons of great content on there. And I just really love them. They're so fascinating. And for me, it is really helpful to see someone who is so proficient at tarot come up against a deck and be like, okay, how do I use this? And so she sits down with all of us and she works with this deck and figures out how to work it. She did one with the Mary L Tarot that was phenomenal. She paired it with runes and oracle cards, maybe Lenormand tiles, I don't remember, but it was great. And by the end of it, I mean, she was doing practice readings with it, and it was really cool to see. So I've really been enjoying those. That is probably my favorite new thing that she's doing on her channel. Again, I am not being paid to promote Lisa in any way, shape, or form. She is just someone that I started watching with TarotTube. She was one of the first people I saw, and I subscribed to her channel, and she has greatly influenced. I obviously have her book. She has greatly influenced me in my tarot journey. And I can't think of a better person to do that. So again, this has become like a Lisa commercial, but it isn't. That's not how I intended it. Sorry. So pull a card for the next 6 months, or pick a card whose energy you want to bring into the next 6 months. I guess I'll just use the Slavic Legends because it's sitting right here, and then I can say I've used it. So what is the energy for the next 6 months? What is the energy for the next 6 months? Okay, these cards are a little sticky. I'm not sure if I'm wild about that. They feel really nice, but they stick and they don't slide. They're still really pretty though. I love black accents. Okay. Energy for the next 6 months. Hey. Okay, I dig it. I dig it. 9 of coins, so 9 of pentacles. I love that energy. I definitely want to bring this energy. I want to work toward this energy. I want to have this energy for the next 6 months. So I feel like that's a great place to end it. Again, thank you to Chanel Days for creating this tag. And I'm just obsessed with tarot tags right now. So I'm going to try and do as many of them as I can. Like I said, I don't have very many decks, so you'll probably see the same decks, but you won't know what prompt I've chosen them for unless you watch. So, haha. And again, not a paid promotion of Lisa Pepez's channel. She just is awesome. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to say her name anymore. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Chanel Days for creating this. And I'm going to edit this. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of bloopers. I said a lot. My voice cracked halfway through. And this has just been the dumpster fire I think people love tuning into my channel for. So cool. I'm glad. Maybe that's my brand, just dumpster fires of episodes. So thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified of my irregular posting, but I do try and post a video every week to every 10 days. And I have maintained that pretty well. So thanks for joining in. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, or I look forward to you seeing me in the next one. Something like that. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you're doing that, which you totally should right now, go like and subscribe. I'm really funny. And everyone have a marvelous day, night, evening, month, year, week, day, what have you. Bye. One day, I'll be able to get my intro correct and not have to film it 47 times.